Hey guys, welcome to the show. Going to go ahead and start off with our interesting bearding fact of the week. So, the title of the biggest beard in the Civil War goes to the Confederacy's Brigadier General Albert Jenkins, whose chest-length long beard gave him a beard to face ratio of 2.86 to 1, a beard nearly 3 times larger than his face. And there's the picture of him right there. My name's Ray, and welcome to Bearding Without Borders. All right, guys. So, like I brought up here at the very beginning, we talked about a little bit about the Civil War, and there's actually a good reason for that, is because the guest that we have on tonight is a Civil War reenactor. So, without further ado, I want to bring on one of the main captains for Beard Mob Indiana. He's a dear friend of mine, and I love everything that he's got going on with the club and in his own life. I bring you Ron, aka Old Red. Let me get him on here. Ron, what's up, buddy?
Not much. How are you this evening, bub?
Scrambling, but that's the story of my life. So,
hey, ain't no minute like the last minute.
So, like I mentioned right off the bat, I wanted to do something that was going to be relevant to you with our bearding fact, and so I actually went and did a lot of digging and found the Civil War little piece here. Since you guys, you just last weekend you just did a Civil War reenactment.
Yes, sir.
So I was very sad that I wasn't able to make it out for that. From the pictures and from what you were telling me, it sounds like a great time. I'll have to make it out to one of these at some point.
Yeah, I try to post them the week. Try to post them a little bit ahead of time so everybody can kind of get a heads up, because I got a lot of people interested. But the exciting stuff is the wedding. We're doing an 1860s wedding, so that's going to be fun. So be ready for like 1,000 photo bombs of that.
I'm super excited about that because honestly, you see, like, especially going into the fall, you see a lot of fall themed weddings, but to get something that is truly kind of unique and like personalized to you guys and what you guys do is really cool. I'm excited to see the pictures from that. I won't be able to make that one because I will be up in the New England area that week. But you have you and Megan have mine and Haley's love and affection, and we will be seeing you at the end of all that on your honeymoon for Monsters Ball, and I'm really glad that we're going to be able to get to spend some time there.
I love she surprised me with it with a hashtag bearded moon. I woke up and it was on all the chat. Holy crap, I'm going to Monsters Ball.
I was like, I remember you calling me and telling me how excited you were about that. So, very
whole trip planned last year, and we were going to go, and then the COVID thing happened, and we just got bummed and didn't end up making it. And so super excited to be there this year.
Yeah, this is actually my first year getting to go as well, and I've got a lot of stuff lined up for that trip, and so we're super ready for it as well. But we have quite a few things going on before Monsters Ball.
Quite a few.
I kind of want to backtrack a little bit to, it's been about I'd say a little over a month ago now, maybe almost 2, since Columbus.
August.
Me and you talked about this show and the concept of this show in Columbus, and we talked about it pretty much almost every day after that for almost a month before I got the first episode up and running. And Ron, you've always been very supportive. You're a dear friend. I call you family. Doesn't matter about the club affiliations. It's who we are. And so if you haven't noticed yet, there is a Beard Mob Indiana sticker on the outro.
See it right
and we
there.
got one right there as well. So, but I actually have you guys on our outro as well, since you guys have always been very supportive, and I really do appreciate that. So
we appreciate you, Ray. Trying to do. I know we've talked a lot, and I know we have a lot of the same thinking and mindsets on things, and we're just looking to bring the family, like you said, family closer, and make our charities bigger and stronger. And it's two things: step A, step B, and that's what's on our brains. And I know you agree that you're on the same page and love working with you.
Yeah. So, and I wanted to bring up Columbus because that was the first time I kind of got to see you guys in your natural yet chaotic habitat, getting everything put together for the comp. But that's really kind of where my interest really wanted to kind of dive in is how did you get into the bearding community?
Man, it's kind of a funny story, really. I had actually been searching. I was looking for some kind of brotherhood, something to kind of occupy my time, and I just drawing at straws, just nothing really stuck. And then I was over at a friend's house, Rudy Sandog from the Indiana chapter at this time, and he was telling me about Beard Mob Facebook, and so I got on there and I visited with him a couple more times, and I was like, "Hey man, is this like a club or something?" And he's like, "I don't think so. It's just a Facebook site." Well, me being me, I dug into it more and I started reading stuff about cabinet positions, and I'm like, "This is a club." So I reached out and found out it was a club, and then he'd been involved almost a year and didn't know it was a club, so then he got involved, and then it snowballed. I got involved in the Indiana chapter, and then as I started traveling and meeting other people, I got involved in other club events, and it's been wonderful. The brotherhood is definitely there. I mean, I got family in this community. A couple, actually the day of my call, my mother had passed, and these guys were camped with me for a week before. In my dad's yard. We live in the country, so we had some room, but they were there with me, and that speaks so much volume, not only for the love within the bearding community, but for the love within each club's itself. So that was a cool moment for me.
So how long now? So you've been in this for like just about a year, I guess, or
about a year and a half.
Man, talk about rising to the top quickly. You kind of jumped in full force, both feet, and now you're what's the exact title that you are with the club?
I am a Beard Mob East Vice President. So I handle affairs in Michigan, Ohio, Indiana, Kentucky, Virginia, and West Virginia.
That's crazy. Like how quick you got in there and got invested in, and sitting into that role to where you have that responsibility to kind of keep things in line and be able to kind of keep people moving forward. Before we go any further, Thad, how you doing, brother? Seen you kind of pop up there. Hadn't had a chance to say anything yet. Just wanted to give a shout out to our viewers. Let's see here. So going back into the Columbus story, and I know that was a tough time for you, and you managed to keep everything pulled together through the comp. And I was like, me and Haley, we talked about that quite a bit. Our heart went out to you and your family, and I know that we weren't able to stick around for long, but definitely just kind of been in that boat myself. I lost my mom, about 14 years ago, and I remember how hard that was for me. So, but you bounced in there and you stuck it out, and you seemed to be in good spirits as much as you could throughout the day. And we were able to raise a lot of money.
Yeah, that morning, I sat there and I was like, what am I going to do? Like, do I, how's it this, and weighing things back and forth. And I finally just come to the conclusion. She was so excited for this to happen and was so excited for me to be doing it. I'm going to go do it. And I knew she was watching me do it the whole time. And that's the only way I kept my composure, because I'm telling you, when that event was over and I kicked my boots off, it was a different story. But, we had something that we'd worked as a club really hard on for a year. And I wasn't letting anybody down, and I wasn't going to let her down. So that's why I was there. And we done a good job, man. We raised $3,700 on our first time out. The hotel's begging us to come back, and we're like, hey, we need more room. If you can give us more room. So,
was it 3,700?
Yes, sir. I cut a check, or the club cut a $700, and we delivered it. it paid for Special Olympics Fall Bowling League. It paid for the entire league. And they're actually throwing a tournament in Columbus, Special Olympics bowling, and they've asked us to volunteer to come run shoes and tickets and stuff. So I think 5 or 6 of us are going to go volunteer to help with their bowling tournament. I believe it's on October 15th.
That is amazing. It really is. Like, and just to think about it, and I was talking to Scott about this with the Nashville comp as well. You know, people like when I talk about what we do in the community, because I get asked a lot. You know, I'm on the road, I'm all over the place, day in and day out. Like this week, I've been in northern Ohio. Matter of fact, I was actually up near Pomeroy, in like random parts of West Virginia, which I know is one of your favorite states in the entire country. But I've seen more than my own fair share of that state this week. It's some places that are pretty cool and some places that I'd never want to go to again. But
that's exactly West Virginia in a nutshell. There's places that are just like, I love it, and there's places like, yeah, we should probably not go back.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yep.
So, but I was talking to Scott, and I was like, people don't realize what we do in the community, and they don't realize the amount of money that we can raise when we all work together. You know, Columbus was a success. Nashville was a success. Beard Mob in general is on a roll right now with competitions and raising money for the charities. And I'm very excited to see what comes out in the future on that part. I've been going to comps on a little more of a regular basis now, and it's mainly been Beard Mob comps. So I'm having a lot of fun with that. But since we're talking about comps and we've already covered Columbus, you guys have another comp coming up.
Yeah, we were crazy enough to take on a second comp. We had set up a booth. We were just doing some recruiting and promotional stuff at a local barbecue festival. The guy offered just to let us set up, thought it was cool what we done. Had some games with prizes for the kids and just handed out cards, talked about what we did, showed pictures, had some photo albums from our comps. And a guy comes and says that, hey, we got this festival coming up, and I think this would be huge in our area. And I'm like, okay, tell me more. He's like, I'm on the board, and we'll get things moving and talk to you in email. Well, I kind of didn't know if this guy was talking or if he was serious. Well, Monday morning rolls around, and here comes a couple emails. I was like, okay, so we're doing this. So I kind of explained to them what a beard comp was and how it ran and what things were needed and what we would provide, and they got excited. So we planned this Peru Fall Festival Beard Bash in Peru, Indiana. It will be on the main stage at the courthouse in Peru. We have the best spot in the house, in my opinion. We get to go right before the main band starts to play. So we're before the headliner. So I guess the Beard Comp is opening for the headliner.
I mean, kind of, or maybe maybe they're just the encore and we're the main attraction.
Yeah, they're just entertainment for our event. But
everybody knows the bearded ones are always the pretty ones. So
yeah. At least I got the beard. I didn't get the pretty, but
same. I promise you, if this was gone, I would have to wear a paper bag. So
believe it or not, I look 15 when I'm clean shaved. It's not bad.
Actually, that doesn't surprise me. So pull this together. So just go ahead and let you guys know. We're also going to kind of do this a little bit as an open part because me and Ron have been we talk constantly. Hey, Corey.
Hey, Corey.
So we are going to open this up for you guys to ask questions. If you have questions for myself or for Ron or for both of us, please do share the video. Let's get some activity going so we can all kind of communicate and work together. But since we are talking about Peru, because it's crazy that you guys are running it within 3 months from the last one.
2 months.
2 months, yeah, but still, let's see. I think most bearded guys trying to catch up on that one. Hey, Afton. Let's see. I think most bearded guys would be single if they didn't have a beard. I kind of agree with that. My wife has already told me if I ever shave my beard, I'm sleeping on the couch until it grows back. So
Meg says the same thing. She said, "You get shaved, this wedding don't mean nothing." I'm like, all right, fair enough.
I've already been told if I touch the mustache, I'm dead. So, but
why would you? Things epic.
Hey, I appreciate that. I've actually been pretty fortunate to have some really good pointers coming in from people like Wayne Patmore. Hey, some from Wayne Patmore, of course, Jim Jones, and of course the Stash King himself, Taxi Phil, kind of taking me under the learning tree. So can't leave out Travis. Travis has got probably one of the coolest stashes I've seen too.
The stash is where I lack. I had a bad barber incident about a year ago, and I still haven't recovered.
Well, we'll be praying for you. So.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I've been on a year, and it's just frustrating.
But we do have a surprise for you, and I know that Andrew's kind of talked to you about that, aka Designs, who was also he helps me with production side and whatnot, and helping kind of keep me in line when I need to. We wanted to do something special for you guys and the Peru Beard Bash Festival, so we are going to go ahead and run this, and I wanted to see your reaction. So go ahead, Andrew.
It was better than he even said it was going to be. That was awesome.
So we went back and forth on whether to wait for the show to show it to you or show it to you ahead. And we've been back and forth all day, and we finally agreed. It was like, I want to see the reaction come across on the screen, and that way we can kind of get a better. So let me just get that pulled up. Hey, Chris.
What's up, Doc?
Getting, Mr. Doc himself. I'm super excited about Peru. I'm going to try to make that one. We're going to figure it out. Of course, Bearding Without Borders is a category sponsor as well.
Yes, sir.
For that event, and I felt very honored to be able to go ahead and make you guys our first sponsor event, and I'm definitely ready to go through. Yes, Designs is definitely on top of things for sure.
That was epic, for sure.
Yeah, I really do. I really do like what he's been doing. He's been cooking up a lot of good work. So, getting back into this, so you guys have a pretty cool festival going on with this, and there's a lot more that's going to go on in Peru as well. So it's I've not been able to actually get in to see what all's coming in with it. I know that you guys are going on, I guess right around noon. Is that correct?
Yeah, 1 o'clock is the actual time of the event. So we'll be set up and start registration around noon. And
okay.
Then I know they have bands playing on other stages around the city, and there's craft booths and food booths, and it's going to be your, normal city fall festival, and we're just going to bring a bunch of beardos into the middle of it.
I mean, we do make the party better every time we go in. So.
Well, I'd like to think so.
I 100% agree with you. And this does, like, it's shaping up to look like it's going to be a really cool event. There's a lot of really cool kind of like hybrid things going on inside the community right now with competitions. A good example is this weekend we've got Pomeroy from Big Bend Beardsmen, Beards on the Bend. They're going on at the same time as the Steer Regatta, and I guess this is something they started last year. Got a little bit in that, and their charity, of course, is going to be Square One, which I know you're going to be at this weekend.
I'm boats too. I'm very excited to see the boats.
It looks like it's going to be a good time. That's why I was kind of disappointed the fact that I was so close to Pomeroy earlier this week, and I was like, I got to leave, and didn't get a chance to stick around and go check it out. I was 5 minutes from downtown, like where the event's going to be held. So
it was one of my first 4 comps I went to ever. So I like one of my favorites. It's one I definitely put on my calendar every year.
It's on my list. Like, and going forward, it will definitely be on my calendar. This year, everything kind of just happened like a whirlwind. So I'm excited to see how that competition turns out, and was able to raise some. Hopefully, we'll be able to raise a lot of good money for Square One. And then after that, of course, we got Big Whisker. Which, are you going to be able to make it to Big Whisker?
I will. Actually, I told my Miss Meg when we were planning our wedding, I was like, October 1st. That's the only date in October that's out. She wanted a fall wedding. She's like, so I'm planning our wedding around Big Whisker. And yes, you are.
It's going to be huge. So
we're going to be in the same campgrounds as Taxi and Jim this weekend up in Pomeroy. And then some guys in the northern Indiana part of our club is going to be there Friday, get set up, and then we're going to come down Friday evening. And so we got a little campground all going. It's going to be a good time.
It looks like it's going to be a good time. Like I said, I wish we were going to be able to make the trip and be able to hang out with everybody. It doesn't look like it's going to happen this time around, but things can change. So we'll see what happens.
Well, and you can't make them all, especially like right now when you have pretty much 5 straight weekends in a row where you need to be somewhere. It's like, what do you do?
Yeah, exactly. Funny you mentioned the 5 straight weekends in a row, though.
Yeah.
This is something that you and Chris Parent from Bearded Sinners have kind of cooked up, and I wanted to bring this up because honestly, I love the idea, especially as soon as you told me about it. I was immediately, I'm 100% down. Hey, we have an extra guest tonight.
There's a Miss Meg in the building.
Hello,
Miss Meg.
Emily.
Hi, Miss Meg.
Hi.
I'm glad you got to come in and join us. It looks like you brought food with you.
I did. Somebody said he was hungry.
I was starving.
You can send mine to Ashland, Kentucky.
I'll get right on that. I don't know how long it will last, but I can try.
I'm okay. I'm patient. So.
But yeah, it was kind of just I was putting the 5 in a row thing together, and I kept thinking about it like back to back, and I was like, what can we do? And I pitched it. I was talking to Chris Parent that morning, and I pitched the idea to him, and he's like, I think it's an excellent idea. He's like, I'm in on it. I'm like, well, you help me with it? And so we took a rough idea and sat down and talked, and we polished it into the Eastern Bearded Poker Dash. The name 3 times, so I had to remember.
I was gonna say. I remember I was one of the first ones into the group, and I remember seeing the name change like 3 times in the span of 20 minutes. So,
hey, we make decisions quick,
Hey, it's how we do. So, do you want to go ahead and give a little bit of detail on that?
So what we've came up with is with the 5 comps coming up, with 5 comps being Pomeroy, Big Whisker, Peru Beard Bash, Tri-County Beards for Bands, and then ending with Monster Ball. You'll have the opportunity to buy up to 3 cards at each of those events, and then play your best poker hand at Monster Ball. And I know some people won't be able to attend Monster Ball, so we will take video submissions of your best hand at Monster Ball, and then we'll select a winner. We're everybody that's playing, we got a chat going. We're going to put them in there, and then here after probably the first 2 events, we'll throw some charities out, and all the players will get a vote on what charity they would like that half the money to go to, and the other half goes to the winner of the best hand.
So with that being said, is it you have to attend the events to be able to get the cards?
No, sir. We got it set up. That's why you can buy 3 at each event. That way you only technically have to attend 2 events out of the 5 to get your 5 cards to play.
And how much are the cards going to be?
$10 a card.
See, that's a crazy idea, and it's I honestly love it. So I will definitely be buying as many cards as possible.
Well, and people are talking, and we've had a lot of mention, next year of doing something maybe on a grander scale of some sort and try to include more. And that's awesome because, I mean, we're essentially raising money while we're raising money, having more fun while we're having fun. So it's a win all the way around. It promotes the comps that it's just another reason for somebody to show up to say, oh, I need to get my cards, or and it is promotion for the comps as well. So I think it's a win for everybody. It's not a club. It's not a beard mob. It's not a Sinners. It's not a Mad Viking. It's just a community thing that we all come together and have a little fun and play and raise some money.
I'm super excited to see how this turns out. Being the inaugural year, I'm sure there's gonna be a few bumps in the road, but it's the culmination of it is gonna be amazing. So,
well, it was a concept, and it was one of those things like we discussed. Well, we could fine tune this thing, or we can run with it, and
let's run with it.
And we fine tuned it as we went. So I think we got something pretty solid now, and hope everybody has a lot of fun with it.
I'm definitely gonna have fun with this, especially considering we'll all be getting to hang out at Monsters Ball, and we'll be able to kind of finalize. Maybe we can even bring it on and do a kind of a stream and let them know who won and what charity we're going to, and talk about the money that we're going to be able to raise from there.
That might be possible.
We might have to look into that. So
yeah, we'll talk.
So we rabbit trailed a little bit. I do want to, and I know it was in the commercial, but I do want to bring back the Peru Fall Festival Beard Bash. Who's the charity that you guys are supporting in this one?
There's actually 2 charities for this event, and the charities had been selected by the Fall Festival Planning Committee the previous year. But every year they do some sort of veterans or military type charity. This year they're doing the Miami County, which is the county Peru is located in, the Miami County Honor Guard, that go to like the veterans funerals and do the flags and help with the processions and at the cemetery as well. And then the second organization they are donating to is the Regional Disabled Veterans, the DAV. And that's just a veterans organization that helps with all sorts of veteran affairs.
Yeah, I've actually done some work with DAV in the past. Great organization to work with. So I'm
working with both. I think, I know the Honor Guard is something that's dear to me. They're at every veteran's funeral I've ever been at. And just the level of respect and dignity that they have for the veterans is amazing. So I'm really excited for this. And, when I had designs working on the commercial, I was like, let's just throw flags down their throat. Let's make it American. So between the Honor Guard and for the disabled veterans, and he done a great job with the commercial. So
I did, and I know that he the song that he used is actually Real American, and now me and him are trying to lobby and figure out if we can get Marty Ray to do us a Beard American song.
The cover.
Yeah. Absolutely.
With throwing flags down everybody's throat, I would like to show the Best in Show trophy.
So that is amazing. Who did the work for that?
There'll be a gold plaque right here that'll say Peru Beard Bash 2022 Best in Show. But this was made by a local disabled veteran, Andy Spicer. He's local to Columbus. He has all kinds of amazing woodworking stuff. I seen this and I asked him, and he's like, I would absolutely love to donate that.
Yeah. I need a good picture of that to post up on the page too, because that is probably the coolest Best in Show trophy I've seen so far. So,
yeah,
I 100% agree.
Time trophy.
That is a really cool piece. I'm excited for everything that we got going on. Everybody's coming together, and we're trying to raise as much money as possible for these charities. With the poker run and everything coming up as well, like there's so much to talk about. And so I've been racking my brain all day. I was like, I'm gonna have Ron and Miss Meg on tonight, and it's like there's so many things that we can talk about. And it's because like me and Ron, we talk so much, and we're rapid firing ideas at each other all day long. It's kind of hard to keep up with. Do what?
I'm exhausting, aren't I?
You a little bit, but so am I. You know,
Right.
there's great. So we've got Beard Bash coming. What's on the horizon for you guys after that? Are we going to take a break? I know you're going to be traveling, of course, for comps, and then of course you have your lovely wedding. I'm sorry that I'm going to miss that, Miss Meg, but yeah, I expect to see a lot of pictures.
There'll be plenty of pictures. I'm excited.
It's fun. We're excited, and it's right in the middle of a whole lot of really cool events, so we'll probably miss a few, but our hearts are there.
Hey, I mean that's all that matters. You guys are celebrating your day, and then I get to celebrate a little bit with you guys the following week. So
Yeah.
Bearded Moon's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
The Bearded Moon is going to be great.
We're going to celebrate our honeymoon at Monster Ball. So that's who gets their honeymoon at a beard comp? Only this guy.
So
I mean, I feel that.
Which was kind of originally her hobby, and I've adopted it and fell in love with it and won't ever quit. And bearding was kind of my thing, and she fell in love with it and started doing it with me. So, Civil War wedding, Bearded Moon, it works.
100% agreed. So I may have to steal that idea at some point.
Trademarks, just hashtags.
Just hashtags. Okay. Make sure to give the credit to the right people. So, let me just pull this up. So you actually are the one that got Ron into the reenactment side. Is that right?
Yes. I've been reenacting with my family. Started with my mom and my grandparents when I was 6 or 7. So 30 years. Over 30 years.
Wedding is 10/22/22. Spring Mill State Park. I seen it in the comments come down there.
Yeah. I'm glad. So you can catch the ones that are coming through. So.
But yeah, he started coming with me to it, and when I first got him and Paige both in, I was like, who's gonna want to do this? But they both fell head first in love. And then he brought up the bearding, and I was like, well, he does mine. I got to do his. And I one event, and I was done. I was in love with it as well.
You know, and Corey just brought up a fun one that me and Chris, and of course you, Ron, we're all officiants, ordained. Then we can start doing wedding at comps. You know, maybe this is something the three of us should work together.
Bearded weddings. Let's start a whole thing, man.
I'm 100% behind this.
By tomorrow, I need a logo.
No, slow down.
She thinks I take on more than I should most of the time, but I'm having fun with it, and it's all doing good. So,
I mean, to be fair, you just had another logo made anyway, and we're going to talk about that here in a few minutes. Andrew's automatically already on it. Designs for the win.
Services.
Oh, great. Now even Haley's on there. I fully support this. So I guess it's going to be a thing before it's over with.
If you can do it. That's what I've been going with the past 6 months because I've had some crazy dreams and we've done them.
Maybe that should be my next business.
You know, it's actually funny. Kyle talks about October 20th being their wedding anniversary. I was the one that got to marry Kyle and his lovely wife, Krista, last year.
Awesome.
and we did that at a distillery in right around, I think it's Versailles, Kentucky. It was a really, really fun time. It was probably the coolest one I've done so far. And then I just finished another one last weekend as well. So, maybe this is something that we should look into because this could be a lot of fun. I'll spearhead this one. I'll save you a little bit of headache, Meg.
You take the lead and I'll follow, Bub. You tell me what you need.
So, and I have the drone. So you've been able to kind of travel and experience a lot of the community. You just recently were a judge at a competition for the Bearded Villains, Indiana.
Yeah, Southern Indiana Bearded Villains asked me to judge their I don't know which annual. I think it's their annual Battle of the Beards in Evansville, Indiana. So I went down to judge that, and I think we had about 5 members of Beard Mob Indiana went down with us and had a really good comp. I think they raised nearly $7,000. So that was really awesome. And I got to meet with the lady from the charity. It was a veterans charity. They for PTSD guys that come back, they buy them movie tickets, concert tickets, event tickets for them and their families, so they can get reintegrated, kind of back in the public and doing things. So it was really cool talking with them and their charity. So I'm glad they raised a ton of money. And it was a fun event. We had a great time.
It looked like a great event, and there was some really cool things that came out of that event. For the people that are in the bearding community, they know that, villains are typically kind of separated from everybody else. Like they kind of, and it's nothing negative being said there, because I have several friends that are bearded villains.
For themselves.
And they do. And I've got Smoky Mountain villains, Chattanooga villains, Lexington, or the Kentucky villains. I've got several friends from as well. But what's cool is you were able to sit down and kind of have a bit of a powwow or summit, whatever you want to call it, with these guys and come up with something that I honestly think is a brilliant idea, and I can't wait to see what happens with it. You want to go ahead and tell us a little bit about it?
Okay, so it did kind of it's been a thought that's been on my mind for a while, and I wasn't sure how to do it or how to go about it. But as I've networked and I've talked to a lot of people, I was able to sit down because their events tend to be their events. Some of them go into the bearded community at large and stuff. But when I walked into Evansville that day, I looked at their captain and I said, hey, this is the first comp I've been to in a year where I'm looking around and I know just, a handful of people. I said, we got to change this. And he kind of gave me a look and we went on about it. It was before comp. And then after the comp, he came to me and he goes, I was thinking about what you were talking about earlier. And he goes, we do. He said, we all need to integrate more and be more of a family because we work greater as a whole. I'm like, bingo. This is where I'm going. So, actually, I was able to talk to all 3 chapters of villains in the state of Indiana and kind of got on the same page. So moving forward, it's an idea that I've had. We're going to try to start a coalition of bearded clubs in the state. I believe there's something like, I just made the list today and I can't remember the number, 7 or 8 clubs within our state. That's awesome. I mean, that's a lot of people doing a lot of good. But if, a representative from each of those clubs can be involved in a coalition, so we all know what everybody's doing. I know what Vikings doing. I know what Tri-County's doing. I know what the villains are doing. We can all be informed and work together as a greater whole. And as a mission to make our communities and our charities as a whole in our state stronger.
The coalition idea is kind of similar to like what I was thinking about with and Corey just said it perfectly, the Beards Without Borders. And so seeing that kind of idea come to life is absolutely astonishing. It's one of those things that, these are the things that we need to do to grow as a community and to be able to help each other. And so I'm super excited to see what you guys are going to be doing with that. I definitely would love to be involved and help any way possible, promoting and whatnot.
Absolutely. So, it's just in the process. Like I said, the logo has been kicked off. and we're starting to advertise to get people out there. Currently working on a mission statement. It's kind of what exactly put in writing what we're about, and then I'm going to get that sent to all the different clubs that I can get it to, and see who's on board and see what we can do, and hopefully it catches on and we can all work together, because that's the goal.
That'd be awesome. Maybe at some point down the road we can kind of do like a panel interview, and we can bring all the leaders of the coalition up.
That'd be great.
And just do kind of our own little summit with it. That sounds like a fun time for me.
Yeah. So. And hey, if it runs well, you know, the end goal would be is other states adopting the concept even maybe.
And that's not a bad idea. And you know, it's funny is actually I've got a interview coming up in November with a few members of the Kentucky Villains that, you know, I'll have to kind of run that around there and see what they think about that. So, because they just did their competition to help raise money for the flood victims out in Appalachia.
I got two of the patches, one for me and one for Miss Meg when I was in Evansville, because I knew I wouldn't be able to attend the comp. But yeah, that was a cause that was near to my heart, and so I definitely wanted to support them. So I got a couple patches because I wasn't able to attend. But man, I would love to have been there.
It was a good time from what I got to see. I actually didn't get to. I had the wedding, and then as soon as we finished doing the officiating, I signed the paperwork, and me and Haley hauled ass out of the wedding and headed straight to the comp. So, and missed it by about 10 minutes. I missed my category by about 10 minutes, but we got to go over there. I got to go ahead and grab some patches and have good conversations and throw some money out there to help. So it was a very, from what I've seen, it was a great time. And I got to see a lot of old friends that I hadn't seen in a while. So, Brian M. Furby, I don't know if you know the name or not, but Mr. Furby, of course, was there, and I haven't seen him in years. So
I can't remember the last comp I seen him. It may have been Elizabethtown.
You might be singing a different tune on October 1st.
Awesome.
So hopefully he does decide to come. We talked about that quite a bit. So all right, guys. So go ahead. So we're gonna go ahead and kind of start wrapping things up here. I want to save some good things for after Monsters Ball, and you know, kind of bring you guys back on after the Beard Bash happens, and that way you guys have a time to kind of reflect and get through the month of October, because it's going to be a monster of a month, no pun intended. So, but I do have a question, and I know you guys have at least seen this probably at least once or twice on the show. I ask it every guest. I want to know your most guilty pleasure or your most embarrassing moment.
Oh my.
I've been thinking about this all day because I knew it was coming.
Why didn't you warn me?
And it was because it's more fun to see you panic. So, Pomeroy is my most embarrassing bearding moment. 1 year ago, I was up to shake hands with the judges, and I dumped a beer over the entire judges' table.
Oh, no.
Went to shake hand, knocked a full beer over. Yeah, I didn't win. Still most embarrassing bearding moment, man. It was I was devastated. Because like I said, it was only like my maybe fourth or fifth comp ever. So it hurt.
Just a bit. Miss Meg, come on.
What was the question?
Most embarrassing moment or guilty pleasure?
Bearding moment or guilty pleasure?
Yep. Embarrassing bearding moment.
Oh. I don't know that I've had an embarrassing bearding moment yet. I'm sure it's to come.
Every time she hits the stage, she's a rock star.
I'll fall off the stage or something sometimes.
Well, what's your guilty pleasure? Something that most people don't know about you.
Oh. Yeah, you should have let me prepare for this.
Me.
I think everybody probably knows it, but animals are my guilty pleasure and my weakness.
We animal people.
Yeah, I know you guys have quite a few pets. You know, I actually tried to take Goat home from Nashville. Josh from ABR has a farm, and he tried to send me home with two Norwegian dwarf goats.
Yeah, right choice.
No, You just need the doggy diapers. You put a doggy diaper on them, load them in your car, you're good to go.
See, Haley, she knows. We could have just taken lessons.
Reenactments all over the country. We diaper it and put it in the bag.
I should be a Subaru commercial. I've had chickens, ducks, peacocks, goats, lambs.
In the back of a Subaru.
In the back of my Subaru. I've done some.
All right. Well, guys, just like Corey said, I do want to say congratulations, of course, to the Rice family. And, you know, I'm super excited for your, you know, to see the pictures from the wedding. Once again, I apologize. I won't be able to make it.
Okay,
but we are going to have a lot of fun at Monsters Ball. And, I'll try to find something definitely fitting of the two of you for a wedding gift.
Aw, you don't have to do that. We don't.
I know you don't, but that's why, I love you guys. Thank you again for coming on tonight as well. Just want to do anything I can to help you guys be able to progress forward and raise as much money for charity as possible. Thank you for always showing support, and I hope you guys have a great rest of the night.
You too.
Thanks for having me on, Ray. We appreciate it, man, and appreciate the promotion. And like always, it's fun working with you and make some memories.
Absolutely. If you guys want to stay in the backstage area for just a few minutes, we'll wrap up there. So.
Okay.
Good night.
Right, thanks, guys. All right, guys. No, the show ran a little bit long tonight. We had 2 guests, and definitely a fun time getting to talk to Ron and Miss Meg. Just to go ahead and reiterate, we've got Beards on the Bend with Big Ben Beardsman this coming weekend in Pomeroy, Ohio. If you have the time, please make the time, because that is going to be one of the best competitions of the year, and they're raising money for Square One, and that is something that is near and dear to my heart. It's about a domestic violence and helping out the women that have suffered from domestic violence. We will post up a link, of course, for that. I've been sharing out a bunch of stuff from Big Bend and from Beards on the Bend. So please just if you get a chance, check that out. Next weekend, of course, we're going to roll straight into Big Whisker Revival. Big Whisker is going to be an amazing show. The Cincinnati Beard Barons always put on a good show, and we just had Taxi on a couple weeks ago, and then of course we had Taxi. He was on the Talking Beards this past week as well. So if you haven't got a chance, please go check out the Talking Beards interview as well as ours. It was a great episode both times, and they got a lot of cool things talked about. And then rolling in, of course, as Ron and Meg were just talking about, we have the Peru Fall Festival Beard Bash going on in Peru, Indiana. That's going to be an amazing event, and it's a day event, so that it's going to make things a lot easier. So there's a festival going on, plus the beard competition, and they're going to get to raise money for some great charities as well. So that's going to be the show tonight, guys. Thank you for all tuning in, for commenting, and make sure if you guys enjoyed the episode, give us a like, a follow, and share out, and we're going to try to continue forward. I got a surprise next week. Our guest is going to be kicking off what we're calling Monstober, and it's going to be a Mad Viking themed month going into October, culminating after Monsters Ball. I'm not going to say who the guest is, but I might let some things kind of slip here and there here soon. But like always, make sure that you always leave things better than how you found them, and that you continue to always strive forward to leaving a legacy. Thank you. Love you guys. Mad love, and have a great night.